Suffering here means is dissatisfaction. Whether you want to follow this path or not,
So
like
it is left to you to take up that step.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Reasons Podcast, where we explore the big questions of life, faith and analysis of worldviews. I'm your host, Balajit Nongrum. In today's podcast, we are going to actually look at the essence of Buddhism or its core beliefs. In the process, we hope to learn what we share in common and what is the distinctive features in comparison to other worldviews and particularly to the Judeo-Christian worldview. To help us answer these questions and many other questions, we are thrilled to have with us Professor Wangchuk Dorjee Negi, who is the professor here in the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, and he has been teaching Indian Buddhist philosophy for the past 32 years, and he also happens to be the Vice Chancellor of this very institute, and he has lectured all across the world. And a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to begin by asking you the first question: what do we mean by Buddhism?
Buddhism is, according to me, way of life, how to live with the genuine happiness through understanding the reality of this universe as well as person.
So what is Buddhism? It is basically the essence of happiness.
Yes, you can say.
Thank you. And following up with that, maybe for the benefit of our viewers, if you can just enlighten or elaborate on what are the tenets of Buddhism? What are some of the core beliefs of Buddhism?
Once you have to become a Buddhist, you need to take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha.
The community.
Buddha is like a physician kind of, right? We all worldly beings are suffering with the negative emotions and destructive things. So Buddha is like a physician kind of, doctor kind of, right? The Dhamma is medicine kind of, right? Then Sangha is nursing kind of. When you get sick, need someone will look after to you. In that way, so Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you need to take refuge, So knowing properly kind of. Today's world, I think people are, not following genuine way in religion or Buddhism, say. Because they don't know this world is full of suffering. Because not knowing, they are not really practicing Dhamma. This is sometimes I use to my student, When we get sick, only we try to go to the hospital or search the doctor kind of, to get rid of that, sickness. So we are not thinking that, this life is suffering, this universe is suffering, full of kind of, right? So need to know this world is full of suffering. Now, sometimes people think that Buddhism very much emphasizes on suffering, idam suffering, udam suffering. There is nothing to say in Buddhism. In fact, not. Suffering here means dissatisfaction. Suffering doesn't mean headache or cancer or, physical suffering. Not like that. In mental level, we are always searching something to achieve, Because of that craving, we are suffering kind of, right? Suffering, first, we need to know that what is suffering is in Buddhism, okay? Suffering main is until and unless you have distracted emotion, like hatred, jealousy, anger, and so on, you never get genuine happiness. So Buddha's suffering is that. Yeah. So what is the cause of suffering now?
Yes.
What is the cause? Suffering. The cause of suffering is desire, hatred, and self-centered attitude in Buddhism. Right? In order to remove those destructive emotions, Buddha have taught like an eightfold path, which is we can divide into three: morality, concentration, and wisdom part kind. Right? Among these three, most important thing is wisdom one. Generally, morality speak all religion, how to free from killing, stealing, and so on. Be a good, honest person. This is not any uniqueness of the Buddhism, I think. This is common. All religion speak. And same time, concentration is also same, more or less, But difference is wisdom part. What is wisdom is according to Buddhism? According to Buddhism, wisdom is to know this world is changing each and every moment. There is nothing, any static phenomena. There is nothing, any existence which is not arises from cause and condition. Right? Whatever is arises from cause and condition is disintegrated one, impermanent, changing nature. Because without we not knowing the changing nature, we hold inherent kind of, we hold static kind of. This for example, if someone say 1 month ago something, someone will abuse to you, you hold rigidly. You think that he abused me, she abused me kind of. Actually, in fact, not. This already 1 month has gone, There are thousands of changes already occur. We holding permanent kind of nitya. इसके चलते हम लोग परेशान. We are suffering lots. So Buddha says there is nothing inherent, changing each and every moment. Nothing is permanent. If you have such understanding, then where is, to get, desired hatred and jealousy, what? Moment everything is. Yeah, this what we need to understand. One thing I think most important. And another thing is the Buddhist philosophy, the core of Buddhism is interdependent origination. We all are interdependent. There is nothing, any inherent existence. We all are changing nature. We all are not only changing, of course, because whatever is arises from cause and condition is of course changeable. And at the same time, this changeable view, theory, again talk us that all phenomena are interdependent. We all are depend on each other. Generally, sometimes in my class, I used to say my students, we need to think of, for example, when we are having cup of tea, pause for a while and think of where this tea leaves come from. We need to go the history of the tea leaves. Yes, you can see Darjeeling, Assam, Bagan, or either say Ooty. Laborers are plucking the tea leaves in rain, even in stretching sun, with holding kids to back. How working hard. Through such working hard, with the process of the many people, tea come to your cup. That's what we need to think of.
Wow.
How we are independent on others. Other milk.
Just for the cup of tea.
Just the cup of tea. Sugar. Sugar cane. Farmers are working hard. And because of the thousands of people working hard, we are having cup of tea.
Now, very interesting, if I may interrupt you, Professor. You have mentioned that the core of the teaching or the core belief in Buddhism is that suffering is there. And I like the fact that you have drawn a distinction, a difference between not just negative suffering. There are many other things that is associated. But core among all of that is the intrinsic desire that we have that is linked to suffering.
Yes.
Now, in distinction with other belief system, they would actually say that, well, yes, indeed, they acknowledge that there is suffering in this world. But there is a difference also in the sense that there are also good desires in us that can be a result for good works. So I understand that you have mentioned that, but is there a distinction that you draw, or is it a total annihilation or doing away with desire? Because desire to a certain extent has an important role.
Desire is essential part, kind of. I think this is little bit, need to be distinct between general desire and, which desire comes out from self-centered attitude. Of course, I have desire to attain Buddhahood. I have desire to benefit limitless sentient being, mother life sentient. That kind of desire, of course, you need.
Yeah.
Without having such force, desire, you can't work. But desire here is which arises from self-centered attitude. I want to achieve this. I want to get this, and so on. This desire is, of course, this cause to arise distinctive emotion, jealousy, and so many things. This need to be removed.
So there is a scope for good desires to be entertained.
Of course, yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, maybe in light of what you have mentioned about the core beliefs of Buddhism, can you throw some light on in what way does Buddhism differ from, let's say, all other systems, religious systems? In what way is it unique and distinct?
Okay. This is, again, if you contemplate on interdependent origination, this is the, I think, core or essence of Buddhism. There is nothing inherent existence at all. We all are dependent on each other. Once you have that understanding, you love to each and everyone. You feel the kindness of the other. This is, I think, core difference of other religion. Generally, when I see religious people, they have, strong belief in something, kind of omnipotent, omniscience, Shaktiman kind of.
Yes.
They believe like they are, say they think that their goodness and badness are coming from their kind. So therefore, no one wish to be suffering, right?
Okay.
So they wish to that, means may I be happy, my family will happy, may I succeed in business, this and that. Always pray for self, kind of. I never see that they pray, why I am suffering in this universe through the destructive emotion, through the jealousy and hatred. How I can remove these all negative emotion. Never, I think, never I see. They pray, please, free from us or free from me, from that, there is no way. Because defilements are attribute or disquality of your mind, No one can remove from your mind. There's no way.
Okay.
No way. This is similar, you can take horse to the bank of river. You can't make
that
drink
horse
to
drink.
Horse to drink. Likewise, defilements are this quality of our mind. We need to practice. We need to remove ourselves. To knowing its इसके दोष को जानते हुए
कारण
तो उसको निकालने का काम हमको करना पड़ेगा. Buddha himself said, Buddha cannot wash your, suffering kind of. Buddha cannot transfer his wisdom to you kind of.
But you have to.
You have to do your own. I am guide, I can show you the path. In which path, I through attain the Buddhahood. Same, I will guide to you, up to you, to whether you want to follow to this path or not,
So
like
it is left to you,
yes,
to take up that step.
Yes.
So nothing is done by Buddha. Buddha is only showing
you
the path.
Yes,
and I think that is a very important distinction that I also notice in other religious system. And
therefore, one thing I want to make clear, therefore, Buddha himself said that, right at the beginning, you and me were same. He said that. Buddha himself said that, you and me were same. Okay, right on the beginning, we play maybe cricket. I don't know whether at that time cricket or not. Maybe kabaddi kind of, kho kind of. We play together. After I practice, I generate body mind. I try to remove the old defilement, and I become Buddha. Same like if you follow that, you can. It shows that there is no such kind of power. You are the master of yourself.
So it means it is left to me and to an individual to work their way up and become like Buddha. And I think that is a very important distinction with the others. Now,
maybe I need to be clarified. Again, according to Buddhism, each and every sentient being has potential to attain Buddhahood. Okay, we are not like a shaitan kind of. We are not like a sin kind of. We are not like a a person whom to be abused or need to feel inferiority kind. No, we have potential to attain the Buddhahood. We have that quality. Each and every person can, if effort, if do practice, can able to attain Buddhahood. For example, if you have to grow, apple tree. You need the seed of apple tree,
You need the seed.
Only seed of apple tree can grow apple tree, not by mango and this and that. Likewise, if you have to attain the Buddhahood, you need potential in yourself.
Very true. And in addition to that,
is again make distinction. Between, yes.
Now I like the example you've given about the apple tree. You have to sow a seed. Now in other religious system, when we study the distinction, you also have the distinction of the creator and the creation.
Yes.
Now, as you have given the example of the apple tree, in some sense we can say that the person who has sowed the seed to bring up the apple tree is the creator. Of course, I draw a distinction that he is not the creator of the seed, but there is this relationship between the creator and the creation. Now, can you throw some light on what does Buddhism attribute to in terms of the universe, in terms of the origin of life, the origin of the cosmos, and so on and so forth? What does Buddhism teach? Because you've mentioned about the core belief. So what is the distinction?
According to Buddhism, there is no such beginning of our consciousness, no beginning. Therefore, no end. This is similar to very much energy kind of in science. Energy has no beginning. Energy never annihilate, always in process. Likewise, our consciousness has no beginning at all. Means this is like a circle kind of. Circle as you can't point, this is the beginning kind of. No.
True.
Likewise, this is circle. Right? Always. No beginning, no end. Only what we have to do is remove all defilements, Actually, our mind is luminous, pure kind of, but adventitiously it is distracted by defilement. Because of adventitious, these are possible to remove. Right? Like, if in water, red color or yellow color, it's become yellowish or reddish, but reddish and yellow is not the nature of that water, You can refine that. Right? Once this refined, pure you are. So likewise, these all defilements are adventitious. If you do practice, gradually you can refine your defilements, and then substitute of those defilements, we need to generate love and kindness and compassion. Now till cyclic being, they born in the cyclic existence through desire and hatred. Once you remove all those defilements, then you generate substitute of the desire and hatred and so on, compassion, love and kindness. Through the power of love, kindness, compassion, you will go on in the cycle existence again and again. There is no end of the.
There's no
yes.
end.
Yes.
So I agree when you say that in Buddhism basically they don't have the distinction between the creator and the creation because of the understanding of infinity, that it's eternal.
Yes.
Yeah. And so this is quite different from perhaps what science would actually say today. Dear viewers, if you have found this conversation meaningful, it is our hope and it is our desire and encouragement to all of you to kindly subscribe to our channel. And if you have liked this conversation in particular, do like this episode and do share with others who are on a journey of faith and reason and discovery. And until next time, continue to think critically, continue to think deeper. Thank you.